So in this video, we are going to clarify or actually try to figure out whether Kaspa can reach $1 this cycle or even more. And of course, we are going to have a look at short time frame price prediction, and we are going to try to figure out of where Kaspa is going to go next. Okay, guys, if you are new to the channel, remember about subscribing, and of course remember that this video is not financial advice. My name is Luke, and let's get the party started. 4 hourly for Kaspa. So what we saw, right, as of 20th of March, 2 days ago, I haven't provided you with Kaspa update, but we can see that basically ever since my last update, we actually been going towards these lower levels, right, in order to grab this liquidity. What happened on 4 hourly is that we have closed below, and actually Kaspa reclaimed this level of 7.07 to be exact as a support, and now Kaspa is going towards the upside. That's of course 4 hourly, right? And now I have used different indicator for today's purposes to actually show you how this greed is always being sold, right? People are obviously greedy, right? That actually doesn't really occur on the second one. I think the second indicator is much better for weekly swings, right, when there's everybody coming, right? But this one is for short time frame, and I believe daily is definitely valid, right? You can see that let me actually put vertical line. We can see clearly here that this greed got sold very quickly, right? So now we have headed here, and now the question is where Kaspa can move next, right? Well, from the standpoint of patterns, what we can see is that Kaspa potentially is forming bear flag. Oh my goodness, I don't really want to say bear flag all the time, but this is what the price action is obviously showing, right? Of course, it's not the first thing that we are going to look at, right? But remember this flag in here, which I'm going to delete. I don't want this chart to be too messy. Just like this arrow, right? So what in my opinion can happen on 4 hourly, we are going to go towards the upside a little bit and then probably pull back, right? Because notice how on a daily perspective is basically changing, right? We are basically oversold if it comes to that greed, right? People are less greedy, and stochastic RSI is also in overheated level. Let me actually circle it here so we can clearly see that this overall area, Kaspa is pretty much trading in overheated level, right, from the standpoint of stochastic RSI. Fear also on this indicator could expand into red. Of course, it's not God indicator, right? But I've been telling you that Kaspa might dip towards these levels of 65.65, oh my goodness, so many zeros. Hopefully these zeros are not going to be present in future of Kaspa, right? Guys, why do I think 65, right? Well, probably that's why, because liquidity levels are obviously there. I mean, the liquidity is laying in these levels, and I believe that Bitcoin is going to see a little bit of a dive, considering the fact that now BTC is basically following and is very correlated, especially after ETFs, towards global liquidity index, right? So make sure that you check out my Bitcoins video, right? Because over there I explain why Bitcoin could go towards the downside short time frame. Nonetheless, guys, in this scenario, I believe that Kaspa of course is going to go towards the downside, but that is of course short time frame, right? Now let me zoom this thing out to the weekly time frame, to the weekly perspective, and let's be very realistic in here. Of course, I don't want to give you any type of moon boy type of a price predictions, and I would like to be very realistic with what's going on with Kaspa, right? The question is, can Kaspa see 10x? Well, if that would be the case, because, well, actually even more than 10Ks at the moment, right? $1 from these current levels will be much more, right? So let me actually put the horizontal line, which I actually have in here. So let me now take the ruler from the current trading price. As you can see, this perspective is zoomed out very, very much, and now $1. That would be roughly 12x, which I believe would be the safest 12x for Kaspa. But now the question is that going to happen? Well, considering the fact that you still believe in a bull cycle that is yet to happen, well, it can potentially happen, right? Because I saw many shit coins that are actually pumping like crazy, right, and doing all of these X's, and projects like Kaspa, in my opinion, deserve, minimum that dollar, right? So even people that were basically accumulating Kaspa at the top in here could potentially have significant gain, right? Well, 5x roughly, anything between 5 and 7x if you've been accumulating Kaspa at 20 cents. Nonetheless, it's still profit, right? And of course, I'm not saying that Kaspa is going to see $1 and that's it, right? Because it can, for example, go to 95 cents. And in this case, you have to make sure that you take out your profits along the way, right? But what I'm trying to say, right? Why do I think it's possible? Well, considering the fact of what Federal Reserve announced recently, right? Of course, I don't want to get into these nitty-gritty details. Nonetheless, they announced that from April 1st, the quantitative tightening will finish, and quantitative tightening hopefully is going to occur shortly after, right? So in this case, we will have much more liquidity all over the world, right? And that liquidity, of course, is going to end up in risk on assets such as Bitcoin, and we will finally see that altcoin season, that proper altcoin season, right? Because what we can see in here, these are basically impulsive waves on the weekly for Kaspa, but we still haven't seen this parabolic effect that we have seen on the charts of Cardano, Solana, and different layer 1 projects like in the last cycle. So in this particular case, I believe that Kaspa could see some greenery. I believe that Bitcoin is going to see highs, and yet we are going to see altcoin season. And of course, in this situation, Kaspa is going to benefit from that. Of course, considering the fact that everything with smart contracts and with Shy is going to come into fruition, and also if of course no drama is going to come out of stuff with Kaspa, right? And also Coinbase and Binance, right? These are obviously the things that we are all waiting for, and of course not mentioning about OKX. I believe that this is yet to happen. Nonetheless, nobody really knows for sure when. They are obviously just hinting. We have these messages, these posts on X and all of that, and looks super bullish, but it's not happening. And some shitty Pi coin is going towards the upside. Again, guys, right? It all depends if you have your conviction, right? There is always a reason why they don't list such a project, right? I don't understand why exactly, but again, if you don't understand why, the answer is very simple: money, right? Usually. Anyways, guys, let me not waffle. Let me provide you with some data over here. I will try to make this update as quick as possible. So market cap is sitting at 2 billion, a little bit over 2 billion, volume 38 mil, and we saw 3.6% if it comes to Kaspa, doing pumps, let's say on a daily. Now 90%, well, 90.24. That's obviously great longer term. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to Kaspa or anything, in fact, if you are new to crypto, make sure that you check out Tangem wallet, because Tangem wallet will allow you to securely store your crypto outside of exchanges on which anything might happen at this point. You can also secure yourself of not sending your crypto into exchanges. You can actually swap it back to USDT inside of Tangem app. So I believe that this is a really cool option that they have, cool feature. And with my discount code, you can get minus 10% off. You can find the link below this video. Now, guys, coming back to trading view, let's have a look at different charts that will help us to determine of where we are. Okay, first of all, Bitcoin's dominance. This is weekly time frame, right? We see that this white candle in here is pretty much the first candle that is white again, right, after basically 2 weeks of market going down, right? So maybe this is our beginning, right? Maybe another fart, right? If it comes to that Bitcoin's dominance, right? Because here we all got caught off guard, right? We thought that this is altcoin season is happening and all of that, and then of course the tariffs happened. What happened, right? So we could potentially have another fart if it comes to Bitcoin's dominance, which will result in altcoin pump, like for Kaspa, of course, as well. And then we could even see this dominance going towards the upside, right? Because of course, given the fact of what's happening now with Bitcoin strategic reserve, with Trump, with all of the nations that are trying to raise and all of that, right? So we could see mini altcoin seasons, or altcoin seasons that actually don't last for such a long time, right? Just little farts, right? Quick couple of candles towards the downside for BTC's dominance, and then coming back to BTC's cycle. Of course, guys, I don't want to I don't want to sound like somebody that's kind of, you know, praising the super cycle theory, but you know, it could be something like this, right? It all depends of how much of liquidity is going to enter, right, once the quantitative easing is going to start. Now, ladies and gents, let's have a look at USDT dominance, because I believe that something juicy is going to happen in here, right? We are on a weekly time frame, and you see that we've got the second red candle in your personal case, probably. Well, in my personal case, it's white. Nonetheless, it's second red candle that is going towards the downside, and stochastic RSI is also overheated in here, right? So what does it mean? That shift, right, of USDT going towards different altcoins, right, or BTC, of course, right, towards crypto. So whatever crypto you will hold, you will benefit from that injection of USDT. That is yet to happen, in my opinion, based on this chart. And now, guys, another thing that we also have to look at is that DXY chart. Yes, I know on a weekly we do have a pump, but notice how on a monthly time frame this is going down, right? So like this going down basically results in stronger crypto prices, which obviously is great. And now, guys, last but not least, right, we are still let's say at the standpoint of retesting on a monthly. Let me actually go to the weekly, right? We see this perfect bounce in here, right? That's what I was trying to show to you. Everybody was scared in here. Obviously, I was shaking my pants, right? But I wasn't selling, right? I am not selling until I'm going to see higher prices, obviously, but it all depends of where you have entered, right? Because I have entered in, you know, while bear cycle basically happened, right? So even now, if I would sell now, I would be with profit, but who cares about my profits, right? What we care about is your profits, guys, right? So now the question is, if you are going to jump now, right, let's say to Kaspa or something else, are you going to benefit? Well, again, not financial advice, but in my opinion, yes, because we potentially could see the start of this bounce, right? Yes, we could see a little bit of a temporary shakiness, but looking at the total crypto chart, guys, this looks healthy. Okay, this is just a retest followed with the bounce on a weekly, and of course we are going to reevaluate in the next update. So I hope that you know, I have covered everything, and if you find the value in this video, of course subscribe to the channel, and that's about it. Peace and love, crypto.